up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're back on another top 5. And I would say, what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, we did a video on 5 reasons the Detroit Lions defense will be better for the 2020 NFL season. That's just an optimistic way to look at things. And in today's video, we are looking at 5 reasons the Detroit Lions offense will be better for the 2020 NFL season. So let's get it started.
Be happy to see you. So hot in here. Oh. Nice shirt.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's my new one. I got this actually for the guys.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, lineman gift. Picture me, I figured off season, walking around, you kind of want to have me close, you know.
That's a very generous gift.
Yeah, you know, I do what I can. Try to help you guys out. Appreciate all the love, you know.
I'm sure a lot of guys will wear it.
Yeah, that or burn it. Yeah.
It's a good picture too.
Thanks.
Welcome in, everybody, to another video. Glad you guys are here. Now, videos today are probably going to be coming out a little bit later. I have a lot of them planned, but unfortunately, when you have a lot of videos planned, it seems like it's harder to get them out. I don't know what it is. It takes a while to get them out because then you have to edit them. The editing, like I can record them, and then I got to edit like 4 videos, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is going to take a while. And there's only so many hours in a day, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm trying. So we're going to be doing this video. This may be the first video you guys see today. Also, my Madden video. Yeah, my face cam didn't record. It like stopped. So because of that, we only had the gameplay and I played the game. So I don't know necessarily what I'm going to do with that. I might like voice over it or something. I don't know. We'll see. But I just want to give you guys that alert. Now, before we get into it as well, I want to let you guys know in the description, go follow Fan to Fan Network on Instagram and on Twitter. Big things are coming July 4th. So definitely stay tuned for that. But now let's get into this list. Now, last season offensively, the Lions were pretty darn good. I believe they finished 11th in passing yards, and that was with half the season with 2 backup quarterbacks. Now, the Lions definitely dropped down when it came to the scoring once Matthew Stafford went out. They were averaging 25.5, which can be rounded up to 26 points per game, and that dropped off in a pretty big way after Matthew Stafford went out for the second half of the season. Detroit Lions were 21st in rushing yards. Offensively, they weren't bad. They were 17th in rushing attempts. They were pretty solid overall, and when Matthew Stafford was healthy, they were really, really good when it came to passing the football. 312 passing yards per game. 312. That is extremely incredible. So they were killing it in the passing game, and the rushing game was just below average last year. So that's what the Detroit Lions looked like offensively, but it was definitely better than the defense did. Now, the question is, can the Detroit Lions build upon that and be even better in 2020? Now, the thing is, when you look at this offense, it's really going to be hard to see them be even better at passing the football. They could be, but it's going to be really hard because it doesn't happen very often where you have that many passing yards. Because Stafford was on pace for 5,000 passing yards. So if the Lions could improve upon that, it'd be really, really crazy. But it's really about that running game. Can that running game get a little bit better to kind of give them another element to the offense? That is the real question. So let's get in this video. Let's start off at number 1. The first reason the Detroit Lions offense will be better in the 2020 NFL season is because of the running back duo of DeAndre Swift and Kerryon Johnson, but also the diverse group of running backs the Detroit Lions do have. The Lions have multiple running backs that are really good at specific things, and that's, I said it before and I'll say it again, that is what I love about our running back group. We have Ty Johnson, who's a kick returner, who's speedy, he's still pretty powerful. You have Bo Scarborough, who's like a powerful running back. You have Kerryon Johnson, who's kind of like a little mix as well, not super fast, kind of powerful between tackles, but not like Bo Scarborough level. DeAndre Swift, more of an elusive running back. You have Jason Huntley, who's like J.D. McKissic, kind of like a wide receiver. You have a mix of any type of running back you want. Any type of running back you need, Darrell Bevel basically can get his hands on. So because of that, the Detroit Lions have a lot of options out of the backfield, whether it's in the passing game or the rushing game. Now, specifically looking at the top 2 running backs in Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift, when you look at DeAndre Swift, you see an elusive, young, rookie running back who is possibly the best running back coming out of this draft class. He was the 2nd running back taken in the draft, and when you look at the Lions historically at drafting running backs, sure, they've drafted some high running backs with Bob Quinn, but usually not the 2nd running back off the board. Even Kerryon Johnson wasn't the 2nd running back off the board. They haven't taken a running back that high in terms of running backs in the draft in a long time. The Lions got an absolute beast. Shocked a lot of people that they took a running back in the 2nd round, but they did. And at pick number 35, DeAndre Swift became a Lion. But now he's going to add a lot of pressure to Kerryon Johnson. Kerryon Johnson talked about it, saying that they'd be a great duo and they're going to work together really well. But he does know in the back of his mind that this is competition. And the Lions know that in the last 2 years, Kerryon hasn't finished the season. And because of that, we don't know what the heck his future looks like. In his rookie season, he looked good. In his 2nd year, which was last year, he looked kind of all right, but then again, another injury. So the real question is, can he stay healthy through this third season, and can he get back to some of those rookie numbers? If that is the case, the Lions running game is going to be really, really good. They're going to push each other, they're going to compete together, but they're also on the field going to give a defense different looks. Because of that, the Detroit Lions rushing game should be a little bit better. The Lions offensive line ranked as 11th according to Pro Football Focus, which is pretty darn good. And this offseason, they brought in a lot of run blocking offensive linemen. The run game should improve on paper. The question is, will it play out in the real NFL? We'll have to wait and see, but that is the first reason. The second reason is because the emergence of T.J. Hockenson. Now, I also think this could also be a little bit of Jesse James. He didn't have a lot of passing attempts the last years. He wasn't super involved in the passing game. Definitely helped a lot in the running game, however. But specifically looking at T.J. Hockenson, second-year tight ends have way better numbers historically than first-year tight ends. I mean, you could look at some of the greatest tight ends ever, and in that second year, they usually take a big jump from their first year. George Kittle, who was a perfect example because that's who T.J. Hockenson was very much compared to coming out of the draft. In his second year, he had 1,300 receiving yards? Are you serious? 1,300? You know, you look at guys like Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates, Gronkowski. You can look pretty much at all the best tight ends, and usually the first year isn't super crazy, but in the second year, they ball out. T.J. Hockenson also had to deal with some injuries last year, which kept him out of a few games. He could be more comfortable in Darrell Bevell's offense. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be ready to go and prove himself as the 8th pick in the NFL draft because he was that pick for a reason. He can block and he can catch the ball and he can make plays with the ball in his hand. So because of that, I see huge emergence from that tight end positional group. We've seen a couple of tight ends thrive with Darrell Bevell, especially 2 tight end sets. So hopefully that is the case with him and Jesse James next year. The third reason is that the Detroit Lions have one of the top wide receiver groups in the league. Their receiving group is incredible, and it was last year. And now you could just make the argument that it got even deeper. See, Jermaine Kearse was a nice depth guy the Lions brought in for last season, wide receiver group, but he was injured. Didn't play at all in the entire season. And because of that, it was still a good group. It just maybe wasn't as deep as it is this year. I mean, if you really look on paper from this year to last year, it's basically the same with even more pieces. Just more guys to compete, like Quintez Cephas, like Geronimo Allison. You just have even more guys competing for the same spots. The Detroit Lions are top heavy and they have depth. That's something you don't see a lot. Sometimes you see a team with a lot of depth or just a lot of question marks at the top. Other times you'll see teams with 1 or 2 good wide receivers and their depth is just a little bit questionable. It's if he goes down. But when you look at the Lions wide receiver group, they're really good at the top and they have a lot of depth throughout. Because of that, the Lions receiving group is one of the best in the league going into the 2020 season, and they can afford to mix different people in. And they have, again, kind of like the running position, different players for different situations, right? You have Quintez Cephas, not super fast, great possession wide receiver. Kenny Galladay, go up and get it, big guy, Babytron. You got Marvin Jones Jr., kind of a similar type of play style, I would say, to Kenny Galladay, another go up and get it type of guy. You got Danny Amendola, reliable possession wide receiver. You have Marvin Hall, deep ball Hall, who can get down the field. Geronimo Allison, pretty athletic when he's healthy. You have a lot of mix, and possibly Jamal Agnew. So offensively, the Lions are really looking good when it comes to the skill positions. The next up is Darrell Bevell. Year 2 Darrell Bevell. Look, it didn't look like there was any kind of problems with the Detroit Lions offense when Darrell Bevell stepped in. Sometimes you may have to take a couple of problems to kind of learn from him, and then you continue to improve, and you get more comfortable with your offense and your players. It seemed like year 1 they were ready to go. There was no, snap, that's a little bit of a learning curve. It didn't seem like there was that at all. Darrell Bevell is a proven offensive coordinator coming here from Seattle and Minnesota, where he's proven to be a really, really good offensive coordinator, especially in the run game. In the first year with the Detroit Lions, he made Matthew Stafford great again. I mean, he did. He made Matthew Stafford go from less than 4,000 yards to possibly the best season of his career. Darrell Bevell in year 2 should be really good for the Detroit Lions, and hopefully he can take the running game to above average, because the Detroit Lions running game has never been above average with Stafford as the Detroit Lions quarterback, and that kind of goes back to my first point. And the final reason it will be better in 2020 is Stafford's healthy. I mean, obviously we don't know what's going to happen during the season, but going into the year, he's healthy, and that's what we know right now. We know he is healthy, and a healthy Stafford and a non-healthy Stafford is a very big difference for our offense. Our stats dropped way off, and they weren't completely awful. They were just not that great when he went down. We looked like a below average offense when Matthew Stafford was hurt, but when he was healthy, we looked like one of the best offenses. And if we would have had a running game, we could have been arguably the best offense in the league last year. We really could have, because we were that great at passing the football. Hopefully next year, Darrell Bevell and all these things can come together and the Lions offense can be even better. Great offense is important. You also need to have a solid defense. But like we saw last year, if the Lions defense was just average, we would have been a playoff team. So imagine what it could be if the Detroit Lions offense was one of the best in the league. That could happen in 2020. That's our expectations. Let me know your thoughts, comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.